My own mother tried to burn my apartment down for the insurance money. I still can't say it out loud without my stomach twisting. 2 months ago, I woke up choking on smoke at 2:48 a.m. My entire life, every photo, every keepsake, every scrap of security I'd built since I was 80 and turned to ash while I ran barefoot down 4 flights of stairs in Seattle, Washington. And when I finally got through to my mom, shaking and sobbing on the sidewalk in nothing but yoga pants and a tank top, she didn't ask if I was hurt. She didn't offer to drive the 30 minutes from Bellevue. She just sighed, long and tired, like I'd woken her up to complain about traffic, and said, "Maria, that's really unfortunate. You're 32. Figure it out." But that wasn't even the part that broke me. The part that broke me came a week later, when the insurance lady on the phone, nice voice, Midwestern accent, tasked me to confirm the beneficiary change form, dated 7 months earlier, the one that listed my mother and stepfather as the sole recipients of the 165,000payout, a form I had never seen, never signed, never even discussed. And 3 days after that, a fire investigator named Detective Ruiz sat across from me in a diner on Capitol Hill and asked one quiet question that made the whole world tilt. Who had keys to your place in the last 10 days? I knew the answer instantly. My mom had stopped by just to say hi for the first time in almost 3 years. Before I go any further, I want to say thank you for sitting here with me. I know these kinds of stories hit deep, especially when you've ever felt like the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones holding the match. Please drop a like and hit subscribe. If you truly like this content, it really does help more than you know. And in the comments, tell me where you're watching from. I love picturing all of us scattered across the world. Are you dealing with family stuff that feels too heavy right now? Just say me too in the comments. I see you and you're not alone. Okay, now let me take you back to the night everything caught fire. It was late January, one of those bone-chilling Seattle winters where the rain never really stops. It just gets quieter. I'd had a brutal week at the marketing agency, layoffs looming, clients ghosting, my student loans still laughing at my paycheck. I went to bed early, exhausted, phone on Do Not Disturb. Around 2:48 a.m., the smoke detector started screaming. I jolted awake thinking it was my alarm. Then the smell hit sharp, chemical, wrong. My eyes burned before my brain caught up. Fire. I grabbed my phone, didn't even think about shoes or coat. The hallway outside my door was already black. Orange light pulsing from somewhere below. I remember coughing so hard I gagged, slamming into the stairwell door, shoulder first. 4 flights. Each landing felt like it took forever. My lungs were on fire, my bare feet slapping cold concrete. When I finally burst out onto the sidewalk, the wet air slapped my face like a wake-up call. I stood there shivering, watching flames crawl out of my living room window, unit 403, 3rd floor, the little 1-bedroom. I'd fought so hard to afford after my divorce 3 years ago. Everything I owned was in there. The quilt my grandma made before she passed. The framed photo of me and my college roommates at graduation. My laptop with 6 years of freelance portfolios. The tiny jade plant I'd kept alive longer than any relationship. Gone. A firefighter knelt beside me, voice calm but firm. "Ma'am, is this your unit?" I nodded, couldn't speak. "I'm sorry. It's a total loss." Total loss. 2 words that don't carry the weight they should. Someone wrapped a blanket around me. I don't know who. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped my phone. I opened contacts. Mom, she'd know what to do. She had to. It rang 8 times. "Maria." Her voice was thick with sleep and irritation. "It's almost 3 in the morning." "Mom, there was a fire. My apartment. Everything's gone. I don't have anywhere to go." A long pause. I could hear her shifting, sheets rustling. Then my stepdad, Greg, mumbling something in the background. "That's really unfortunate," she said finally. "You're an adult, Maria. You need to be more careful with candles. Space heaters, whatever started it. I wasn't even using anything. We can't fix this for you." Greg took the phone. His voice was flat, final. "This isn't our problem. Call your friends or something." The line went dead. I sat on the curb, blanket slipping off my shoulders, listening to the dial tone until the battery died. Firefighters shouted, sirens wailed, neighbors stared, and my own mother hadn't even asked if I was breathing. The next few days were a blur of borrowed clothes, a coworker's couch in Fremont, and trying not to fall apart. My friend Lena let me crash in her spare room. She didn't ask too many questions, just handed me tea and said, "Stay as long as you need, babe." I cried in her shower until the water ran cold. A week later, I finally called the renter's insurance people. I expected forms, adjusters, the usual runaround. Instead, the rep Claire got very quiet after I gave my policy number. "Miss Reynolds, can you hold for a supervisor?" When the supervisor came on, she asked me to come into their downtown office the next morning. "There's something you need to see in person." I barely slept that night. The insurance office smelled like burnt coffee and printer ink. Claire led me to a small conference room and slid a folder across the table. I opened it. Standard policy stuff at first. Then the beneficiary designation page. Maria Reynolds, insured. Beneficiary Gregory P. Harlan and Patricia Harlan. Relationship, parents. Percentage, 100%. My signature was at the bottom, except I had never signed it. "This was submitted 7 months ago," Claire said softly. "We need to know if you authorized the change." I didn't. My voice sounded far away. "I would never." She pointed to the signature. "It does look like yours." It did. Same little loop on the M, same slight slant, but I knew every time I'd signed anything in the last year. I'd never seen this form. "There's something else," she continued. "A fire investigator reached out this morning. He's asking questions about the policy and the beneficiaries." My heart slammed against my ribs. Why would he care who the beneficiary is? Claire met my eyes. "Because if the fire wasn't accidental, the payout changes everything." I left that office feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. That afternoon, I met Detective Ruiz at a little coffee shop near Plague Place. He looked like he'd seen too. Many bad endings, graying hair. Tired eyes, steady hands. "Ms. Reynolds," he said, setting his coffee down, "I'm gonna be straight with you. The burn patterns don't match an accident. Point of origin was behind your dresser, near an outlet. No frayed wires, no appliance malfunction. We found traces of an accelerant." "Accelerant," I repeated, numb. "Someone helped it along." He leaned forward slightly. "Who had access to your apartment recently?" I swallowed. "My mom came by 9 days before the fire. First time in years. She said she'd missed me." He didn't flinch, just wrote something down. "The building has electronic key fobs." We pulled the logs. Only 2 entries that week, besides yours. One matches the description your mother gave when she buzzed in. My mouth went dry. "I'm not accusing anyone yet," he said. "But I need you to be very honest with me. Anything at all that felt strange during her visit." I thought back. She'd walked through every room, touched things, asked about my schedule, my work from home days, whether I was still using that old space heater. At the time, I'd been happy she was there. Now every memory felt poisoned. "She stayed longer than she said she would," I whispered. "Almost 2 hours. I thought she just wanted to catch up." Ruiz nodded slowly. "We're pulling security footage from the hallway. If she brought anything inside, we'll see it." That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying her visit. The way she'd hugged me goodbye a little too tight. The way she'd said, "You're doing so well, honey. I'm proud of you." Like she was saying goodbye for good. The next morning my phone buzzed with a text from my cousin Jenna. "Hey, your mom called me last night. She's really worried about you. Said you've been acting paranoid since the fire. Mentioned maybe talking to someone, like a doctor." My blood went cold. She was already laying the groundwork. She wasn't just after the money. She was trying to make sure no one would believe me when I figured it out. And that's when the anger finally burned hotter than the fear. That text from my cousin Jenna was the moment everything clicked into sharp, cold focus. My mom wasn't just covering her tracks, she was rewriting the story before I could even tell it. She was turning me into the unstable daughter, the one having a breakdown after the fire. If I started pointing fingers, who would believe me? Not my family, not my coworkers, not even the police if she got to them first. I sat on Lena's couch that morning, staring at my phone, and felt something shift inside me. The grief was still there, raw and heavy, but underneath it, anger was hardening into resolve. I wasn't going to let her erase me twice. I texted Detective Ruiz right away. We need to talk now. He met me at the same diner. I told him about Jenna's message, about how my mom had already started spinning the narrative to the family. He listened without interrupting, then said quietly, "She's scared. Scared people get sloppy. That's when we catch them." He asked if I had any recent photos of her, any texts, anything showing she'd been in contact. I pulled up the selfie we'd taken during her visit, her smiling too wide. Arm around my shoulders, my apartment in the background. He studied it for a long moment. "Send me that," he said. "And anything else you've got?" "We're getting the hallway footage pulled today." While we waited, I started digging on my own. I remembered something she'd said during that visit. "You really should update your beneficiaries, honey. You never know what can happen." I'd laughed it off. Now it felt like a threat wrapped in concern. I called my old landlord. He still had the building security company on speed dial. After some back and forth, he agreed to let me and Ruiz view the footage. 2 days later, we were in a cramped security office watching grainy black and white video. There she was, February 3rd, 1:42 p.m. My mom walking down the hallway, carrying a large black duffel, bagged, the kind you'd use for a weekend. Trips or gym clothes. She glanced around once, then disappeared into my apartment. Fast forward, 4:38 p.m. She walked out. No bag. 3 hours inside. She'd told me she was just popping by for a quick coffee. Ruiz's jaw tightened. She left something behind. That same afternoon, the insurance company's fraud investigator called. They'd received the same form I'd seen, forged signature and all. But the clerk who processed it remembered a woman, mid-50s, brown hair, said she was, helping her busy daughter with paperwork. She'd paid the processing fee in cash. My mom's hair had been brown for years, box dye, same shade every 6 weeks. I felt sick, but I also felt something else. Power. For the first time since the fire, I wasn't just reacting. I was building a case. The next blow came from my job. An email from HR. We received an anonymous tip expressing concern about your well-being following a recent personal tragedy. We'd like to schedule a wellness check-in to ensure you're fit for duty. Anonymous, right? I forwarded it to Ruiz. He called me back within the hour. Classic move. Discredit the victim before they speak. She's panicking. He told me they'd found accelerant residue lamp oil, common, easy to buy, and near the outlet, fragments of a cheap digital timer. The kind you plug into a wall to turn lights on and off. The serial number traced back to a hardware store in Bellevue, 10 minutes from my parents' house. Cash purchase, 8 days before the fire. The cashier remembered a woman who paid quickly and left. I knew what was coming next. The invitation. My mom called 3 days later, voice dripping, "Honey, Maria, sweetie, the family's been so worried. I'm having everyone over this Sunday, just a casual lunch to show you some love after everything. Uncle Mike, Aunt Carla, your cousins. We all want to see you're okay." I almost laughed. It was so transparent. Get me in a room full of people who'd already heard. I was certain and stable. Let them see me unravel, cement the story. I said, yes. Before I hung up, I added sweetly, "Can't wait to catch up, Mom. It's been too long." I spent the next few days preparing. I met with a lawyer, Sarah Kim, recommended by Lena's sister. She specialized in fraud and family disputes. She looked at the beneficiary form under a magnifying glass and said, "This isn't even a great forgery. Hesitation marks. Inconsistent pressure. A document examiner will tear it apart." And the in-person submission? That clerk's memory is gold. Ruiz told me the warrant for my mom's phone records was in process. Cloud backups don't lie. Even deleted texts can be recovered. I asked Lena to come with me to the lunch as moral support. She squeezed my hand. "I've got your back. Always." Sunday arrived. Rainy, gray, classic Seattle. I drove to my parents' house in Bellevue, big colonial. Perfect lawn, the American dream on display. Cars lined the driveway. 15 people inside, minimum. My mom opened the door before I knocked. Cream sweater, pearl earrings, face arranged in perfect maternal concern. "Maria, honey." She pulled me into a hug that lasted too long. "We're all so glad you came." Over her shoulder, I saw them, aunts, uncles, cousins, all watching me with the same careful pity. She'd done her homework. She guided me into the living room like I was fragile glass. Everyone murmured condolences. "So sorry about you've been through so much. We're here for you." Then my mom cleared her throat. "I just want to say how much this family means to us," she began, voice trembling just right. "Maria's been struggling. The trauma, it's affected her. She's said some things lately that are concerning about me, about Greg, about what happened." Gasps, shocked looks. My Aunt Carla put a hand to her chest. "She thinks we had something to do with the fire." My mom dabbed at her eyes. "Her own parents." I know she's hurting, but to accuse us." Greg stood in the corner, arms crossed, avoiding my eyes. I stayed quiet, let her perform. My phone buzzed. Text from Ruiz. Footage confirmed. Timer fragments match. Warrant just approved. "We're en route. Archer minute." I looked up, smiled. "Mom," I said calmly, "when you visited my apartment last month, why did you stay 3 hours? You said 30 minutes. Her smile froze. "And the black duffel bag you carried in, where did it go?" "'Cause you left without it." The room went dead silent. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said, voice tight. "The building has cameras," I continued. "I've seen the footage." "And the fire investigators?" "They found the timer. Bought at the hardware store down the street from here. Cash, the clerk remembers you." Aunt Carla whispered. "Patricia?" Greg shifted. "Maria? That's enough." My mom's face changed, mask slipping. "You're confused, honey. The trauma." My phone buzzed again. "Sarah." Clerk picked her out of the photo lineup. "Positive ID." I stood up slowly. "I'm not confused. I'm awake." The doorbell rang. My Uncle Mike opened it without thinking. Detective Ruiz stepped inside, badge out. 2 officers behind him. "Patricia Harlan," Ruiz said, voice steady. "You're under arrest for arson in the 2nd degree, insurance fraud, and forgery." My mom laughed high, brittle. "This is insane. She's making it up. She's not well." Ruiz didn't flinch. "You have the right to remain silent." The cuffs clicked. Greg tried to speak. It wasn't. "Greg," my mom snapped. "Shut up." Too late. The officers took her out. She didn't look back at me. The room exploded into chaos stares, questions, disbelief. Aunt Carla came to me first, crying. "Maria, I'm so sorry. We didn't know." I nodded. "I know." One by one, they approached. Apologies. Hugs. Promises to help. I let them. But I also knew something they didn't yet. This wasn't the end of the pain, but it was the beginning of my freedom. Weeks later, the insurance money came through, $158,000 after fees. I put most in savings, paid off some debt, started therapy. I found a new apartment in Ballard, small, secure, mine. Greg took a plea probation, gambling treatment. He testified against her. She got 6 years, eligible for parole after 4. The family fractured. Some still defend her. Others cut ties, and Carla checks in every week now. She's the one who brings me soup when I'm sick. I learned the hard way. Family isn't blood. It's who shows up when the smoke clears. Who believes you when the world calls you crazy? Who helps you rebuild instead of burning you down? I still have nightmares sometimes. The smell of smoke, her voice on the phone. But they're quieter now. I play guitar again, bought a used one at a pawn shop. It's not the same as the one I lost, but when I strum it, I feel something heal. Life isn't perfect. Money's still tight. Work's still stressful. But I'm here, breathing, whole. And the biggest lesson? You don't owe anyone your safety, not even family. If they demand your trust while holding matches behind their back, walk away. Set the boundary. Save yourself because you're worth saving. If you've ever had to choose yourself over family, drop "I chose me" in the comments. I want to see you. I want you to know you're not alone. Thank you for staying with me through this. If it helped even a little, share it with someone who needs to hear they can survive Betrayal 2. I'm Maria Reynolds. I'm 32. My mother tried to destroy me for money. She failed, and I'm still standing. Like and subscribe if you want more real stories like this, because the truth, even when it hurts, is what sets us free. I'll see you in the next one.